What is one thing that you don't want to lose? Oh! This will be a commercial piece.
The Podical Sons.
What's up, y'all? Marvelous.
And I'm not your average Joseph.
And we are the Podical Sons. So let's start the show. The show that is hilariously inappropriate but intellectual beyond belief. So let's get it popping. Like, comment, subscribe, all the above.
All of the above.
All streaming platforms possible. Podical Sons podcast. You can see these faces on YouTube and Spotify as well. Start the show. How you feeling, man?
Better, actually.
That's what's
Yeah.
up. That's what's up, man.
Yes, man. You know, a little bit of rest here and there, and I'm back.
We glad to have you back. Full steam ahead. About your joy this week, man?
It wasn't anything really big. Just a simple outing on a nice day. A wife and I just went browsing or perusing. We went perusing in the open mall and then the regular city mall, and just it was good to see people out and about. The day was nice and people just took advantage of it. So it was good.
That's what's up.
Yeah. You wouldn't think. It's so funny because just walking in the mall and just seeing so much people out, you wouldn't think that we're in the midst of a tariff war and people are like are looking at it as I gotta stay home and be like prudent. It looked like people were just out and about and just saying whatever it is, I'm just gonna enjoy the day and just enjoy myself. So I was really glad to see that.
I would hope that most of the people that you're like, especially like in the mall aspect and stuff, is just trying to keep it Canadian as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if it's not, then they might be miserable with the pain and stuff like that, right? But I think like
right.
I think the heavy campaign over here on this side and stuff, whatever, is that like, yeah, keep it Canadian. Look at our liquor stores; they don't even have American alcohols on shelves anymore.
No, yeah.
So it's kind of like, I think by just keeping it Canadian, it's kind of like you're sticking to your own. So I would expect kind of like a good flow of people in malls and stuff like that, whatever.
Right.
I mean, like, consider the fact that like a good portion of the malls that did have like Hudson Bay, and then like, them going out of business and stuff like that too.
Speaking of which,
Talk about it.
So when we hit Square One is a popular mall in one of the outskirts of Toronto, city of Mississauga.
Yo, put some respect on Mississauga. Is a mega city.
Yeah, shout out to the Mississauga region. But we went to that mall, and actually, I think it was for the first time I've ever gone through that entrance of the Hudson Bay. So walking in right away, you just see like people there would look like it to be like a scavenger.
It's bare now.
It's bare now, and those were one of the few stores that were still remaining open. So I guess they were just finally just clearing off some of the stuff. I did see some interesting cologne in there and stuff like that. I didn't get a chance to stop and see where they were going from.
I went to a few bays.
Yeah.
And those fuckers, they put up a sign and said like, yeah, there's no change to the prices on the cologne. So I'm like, yo, why not? They're like, oh, most of those things are going back to the flagship store.
Right.
So they're being shipped off there, whatever. So I'm looking like they know which items that would move and bang.
Yeah.
The clothes might definitely not, definitely won't be moved. But like the items and stuff like, because even the watches, I was like, yo.
Well, I'm wondering how long are the flagship stores going to be remaining open? Because if they've got, I think it was like 5 out of all of the 81 stores or close to that they were keeping open, something like that.
5 or 6, something like that.
5 or 6 like that. That remain open throughout everything, the solvency. And now that they're saying, okay, no, it's done with. These stores are the remaining ones to close. If everything is to go, like, you know what I mean? It almost doesn't make sense. It's like you have the merchandise here. People are here willing to buy it.
Right.
Sell it at a discount here. Why are you sending it back to the flagship store? This makes no sense to me.
That was the thing that was dumb to me. I'm like, for liquidation, your main concern is paying off who you need to pay off.
Right, exactly.
don't put like this. If that be the case, don't put no marked items and stuff in the flagship stores.
Right.
Everything else. Let everybody just flock to everything. We're talking about by the shelves, the units,
All
everything
that.
must go.
Yeah.
It's less shit for y'all to move.
Exactly.
Less shit for them to move.
Exactly.
That's what I was like. I'm like, I went there, I was like, you motherfuckers. Yo, I went there, I was like, the lady's like, no.
To move might be even more expensive to move because Canada Post is going on.
Because of the Chanel. So I was looking at the Chanel colognes and stuff the time when I went, whatever, right? And I think first one I went to was Aaron Mills. And I ended up in way out there in Kitchener side and stuff like furthest I went was like Conestoga Mall.
Yeah.
Boom. They both have the bays and stuff like that, whatever, right? And I'm looking at stuff and I was like, let me see what I can see and stuff like that. Cologne on the Aaron Mills one. And this is like the second week after they said the liquidation began.
Right.
And I'm like, that's weird. Why don't you guys just sell everything and stuff, whatever? Less shit for you to carry and everything.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't make the rules. I'm like, cool. Do you?
Yeah.
I go to a Conestoga thing, I want to say probably about like maybe 3 weeks after that.
Right.
And when I went out there and stuff, whatever, I was like, the cologne still, she's like, yeah, unfortunately getting shipped to the flagship store. I'm like, y'all shipping everything to this flagship store gonna be popping. Because you have Aaron Mills saying this shit. You have Conestoga and Kitchener saying this shit, whatever. I was like...
And the reason why I'm asking, how long is the flagship still going to be open for them to sell everything that's apparently heading to them? But you know what? It might be like you said, it's going to be a wholesale off. So I can see if it's the flagship store, I can see heavy bidders going in there and saying, okay, like, oh, you just received these 600 bottles of Chanel cologne. I'm going to buy it off you for this chunk of money. And they're probably just going to get rid of it from like that at those cents. It would make sense, right? If you're going to move that type of volume or even to make it make sense. Because
if you're hearing this, wholesalers at Sofa King Marvelous, hit me. Yo.
Hit up Marv.
And I want a discount on them bitches and stuff, whatever.
Yo, this might be a good time to check your cologne dude, yo.
Yeah.
He might be in the loop of something happening.
We gonna talk.
So apart from that, Canadian Tire, which is another long-standing Canadian retail brand, has stepped up and said they're going to buy and I don't think they're taking everything, but I think just like the intellectual property type.
They're gonna buy what, the bay?
Yeah, of the bay. So like the crest, the stripes, like that stuff, the iconic stuff, I guess, and still pump out whatever type of merchandise that they would probably pump out through their stores.
I don't see why not.
I don't see why not either. I think
I look
that
at it as like just keep some main aspect of it like naturally Canadian.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say like to seem any kind of type of way, but I look at it stuff as where I think, let's say like the Hudson Bay Company's been around for like donkey years.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Probably one of the original companies in Canada.
Okay. You got that, then you got what was the other one that they dropped? Zellers. Right? It was Zellers and Bay.
Right.
Then Zellers and stuff got done in.
Right.
And then you just had the Bay and everything like that. And now the Bay's done in. So I'm looking like, what would be like the staple like monarchs of Canada? Because other than that now, whatever, it's not that much Canadian stuff after Canadian Tire.
I think Canadian Tire
maybe Roots?
Roots. And even I mean,
and Roots is dodgy to me.
Well, I was gonna say, even with the names mentioned, Roots would probably be considered still like a younger. Wouldn't I guess? Well, I mean, it's earned its stripes as far as a Canadian staple.
With the Olympics and stuff like that.
As far as a Canadian staple, but it may not have as much years underneath the belt as the other companies that we're mentioning, right? But yeah, even with like a Canadian Tire, I can remember one time I think it was Beaver Lumber would have been like considered their competition back in the day. And like, Beaver Lumber was an hardware place that had stores all about, and slowly and surely, Canadian Tire just kind of bought out the competition and it just kind of like kept growing. What I liked about them though is they really diversified in what they're products were carrying. And they did that around this time when they seen Walmart coming in. And I think that's what kind of kept them afloat, because almost apart from groceries items, like you can get in Walmart and certain clothes. I mean, it's not as big as the clothes section would be, but even with that being said, Canadian Tire owns Mark's Warehouse.
Right.
They own I think Denver Haynes, if I'm not mistaken. Eddie Bauer, I'm not sure if they own Eddie Bauer, but there's a few clothing stores that they're in
Is
that
Sports
market.
Check one?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. They're in the market, but they're definitely in that market, right? They may not have it under an umbrella like Walmart to say, okay, clothes over here, sporting goods over here, but they're, separately they have those entities. So to just know that they've seen something coming, and that, like I said, this was like when I was growing up, you went to Canadian Tire to get like your plumbing stuff, your building supplies for your house. You didn't think of it like as anything other than that.
So just straight house type of...
Just straight house stuff. Like how you would see a Home Depot right now, like on a level like that.
Okay.
So again, like I'm saying, like they really were forward thinking as far as that stuff came, because Home Depot wasn't here at that time. So can you imagine when we said, okay, we're going to let in the wave of American companies, and these American companies come in, because there's a Home Depot almost on every block now. There's a Walmart on almost every block now, right?
Right.
All the other Canadian companies, we just witnessed Bay die. Think about that. Canadian Tire is the only last Canadian company standing in a sea of American companies in Canada.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Like at least just keep like something kind of like Canadian and stuff, but as much as possible to like the country.
Yeah.
Because I look at it stuff as where, to me, it gives an image and stuff that you can be bought.
Yeah.
To another country.
Yeah.
Right? Because I look at it stuff, especially like a country like America. That's the reason why I think part of the reason why American people kind of look down at Canadians. Not all like or the main reason.
Right.
But it's kind of like if you're a business person and stuff, whatever, like Donald Trump is, 51st state, like, stop this. There's a Walmart there. There's a Home Depot there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of American companies here. There's a McDonald's, a this, a that. It pretty much is the 51st state.
Yeah.
So, but they don't want to hear that, though. Yeah.
And the only export you gave us was Tim Hortons.
Pretty much. And Tim Hortons is not even like deep and entrenched and stuff like that.
It's not deep and entrenched like that.
I want to say like...
I think there might be a few Harveys.
In America?
I think so.
Where?
I think.
I've never seen one. I've seen Tim Hortons in New York. I've seen Tim Hortons in Michigan. And I saw one in Atlanta.
In Atlanta. But they're not even owned by Canadians no more, though.
Yeah. Burger King. The people's own Burger King own Tim Hortons. See? Country can be bought.
Can be bought.
It's time for a Tim's. Yeah, man. What brought me joy this week? The main thing that kind of brought me joy this week was seeing that a good portion of people are kind of like conversing amongst themselves, whether it be like about like the court cases and the whole situations and everything like that. Because I look at it stuff as people don't communicate like that anymore.
Right.
I think a tweet, a comment is different from a conversation. Right. And I feel like a lot of conversations and stuff, like because of everything been amiss, like it was crazy where I'm at work and I was looking at they ran back up like, the incident when Diddy dragged Cassie in the hotel, and one of the directors he just saw Diddy in the towel. He's like, why are you watching a man in his towel for or whatever, right? It's like, hey, don't say that out loud, man. I was like, no, man. I'm like, this is Diddy. He's like, and then he's like, my wife and I were talking about this, and somebody else jumped in the conversation, and somebody else jumped in the conversation and stuff, whatever. And I'm like, on a regular day, I don't think so many people, those people will be talking to each other.
No. And I think one of two things. People don't like to talk about their own drama,
That's fair.
and but people still want to be a part of the conversation. And I think once you have something that it can be like a common bond, it's like, yeah, like I can add my 2 cents in and not be judged because I kind of feel like the roommate feel like the same way how I feel, especially with this case, right? It's
With
like
that case, yeah. But yeah, like I said, conversations are happening again and stuff, which is entertainment. It's very entertaining to see.
it is, yeah.
I dig the vibe. Like I said, I'm not a fan of like the purpose of how everything pops off, but I mean, I told y'all the man ain't right. So all right,
It's yeah.
we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Let's get to the polls first.
All right.
First poll of the week was: how do you prefer your racism, blatant or subtle? We spoke about that. And you were saying stuff like, "Let me know you don't." you
Yeah,
don't
I was
fuck with me.
yeah, tell me blatantly.
82% said blatant.
82% said blatant. Let us know.
Yeah,
We're on a knowing team.
yeah. And I seen 18% on the subtle and stuff, whatever. And I was like, I understand a lot more after you hit an explanation than I seen some of the comments from other people.
Yeah.
And stuff like that too. And I was like, somebody's like, give it to me like how you get. If I can give it this way,
Yeah.
then I can expect it to come back this way and stuff, whatever, right?
Right.
So I look at it stuff as like everybody has a little bit of R word in them and stuff, whatever. Not like Mario Kart racers, So I was like really, but I look at it stuff as like, I think for the most part and stuff, whatever, you guys are absolutely right.
Right.
I do believe in stuff whatever. If I know you don't mess with me, if you don't, or etc., you don't like me because skin tone or whatever I look like and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
All the more reasons for me to avoid you, like the Blackwater Plague.
Yeah.
All right. The next poll was: are there still taboo convos that still exist? And 70% said yes. How you feel about that?
I don't.
I feel like no. I voted no for everything goes.
Yeah.
Because we've heard things from like vaccines to assassinations.
Yeah, man.
To like you're hearing OnlyFans is like a commonality now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're showing gore porn and stuff, whatever. I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't think I'm with you on this where I say
damn near everything goes.
Damn near everything goes. And I think it's hard to find a thing that we have not been exposed to.
I feel like we came to a point where we already opened Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Right? And it's crazy where you have now I don't know if this is the gospel or is it true, not our gospel, the Bible, but the Mormon stuff, right? Yeah. Sex, race, religion, politics, finance, certain things and stuff like that still apparently, I guess there's still taboos and stuff, whatever, too, right?
Right.
We talk about Donald Trump and his like Legion of Doom and stuff often. That's politics.
It's politics.
It's Squirt P. That's sex.
Sex, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Somebody got like a Jesus post or some kind of like, religious type of post popping off under a thing. That's religion.
It's religion, yeah.
So I'm looking like, we're doing this. Like Pandora's box has been open. I don't want to say like because of the internet, but I look at it stuff as where some people just be like, fuck it, this is how I feel. And then we champion that this is how I feel kind of moment. So I'm like, everything goes, man. I don't know what you guys talking about, but your choice is your choice.
Yeah. I don't think it's too late. You can't reel it in. The box is open.
It's wild out here, man. Like I feel like some shit I see and stuff, whatever. Like I can't myself just constantly saying, man, like look at Earth today. I could never imagine like years ago, even with like, I even take it back 10 years ago. If I'm 40 now, take it back to like 30, like when I was 30 years old, I wouldn't imagine the world where it is right now.
No.
10 years, shit has changed. people are talking to AIs more than they're talking to their own friends.
I watched this gonna hit some of y'all in the relics button. Porky's the other day.
Yeah. The Real American Pie. That's what I call it.
The Real American Pie. I like that. Porky's the other day. Now I remember when Porky's first came out.
Okay.
And movie ratings, right? And it was rated R, which was restricted unless you were of the age of 18 or older. Now, it's funny how everything it's all perspective. You know, you're a 13-year-old, you're a 14-year-old. You can't wait to get 18 because you feel 18, you're some sort of man or adult or something like that. Because now it gives you the keys to do certain things, right?
Put your dick to a shower? Or no. Too much Porkies?
Too much Porkies.
Spoiler alert!
Too much Porkies. But I'm watching that movie today, and what was considered rated R back then,
it's like light work now.
It is super lightweight work right now. I mean, what you watch, I'm amazed at what I see at TV right now versus to what I grew up. That would have never flown. No way, no how, no nothing. Even in the slightest stuff I see.
Eminem used to always just say the FCC won't let me be.
Right.
Right? And when he used to say that, I used to look at stuff as like, shit, I guess they would silence like his videos more than the music.
Right.
Right? And I look at it stuff as because, you know, Uncle Luke and Two Live Crew and who was it? Twisted Sister and them. They fought. You know what I'm saying? So like lyrically, they can do what they do and stuff, whatever. But like video wise and all that type of stuff, it'll get kind of racy and stuff at FCC. And I looked at it stuff as like, I've seen a cultural shift of like watching music videos on TV to you could barely catch a music video on TV.
Right.
Yeah. But I guess because of the landscape now where people watch music videos like online. And then a lot of these places like, as long as you don't show a titty, you good.
Right.
I don't want to drop a dime and stuff for there, but like there's a particular musician.
Yeah.
There's a song.
Right.
On YouTube, and I saw the video. I was like, "Oh, titties!"
On YouTube.
On YouTube, I'll show you the video.
Okay. So this is one thing I've always had in the back of my mind, because whenever we upload our shows to YouTube, it's always asking for certain ratings, right?
Right.
Is there a part of YouTube where adult ratings will allow you to see adult things?
I don't think so. I think the landscape is still kind of set like family orientated.
Right.
Because especially since Google acquired YouTube, right? Because remember, YouTube was its own entity before. So I probably, a lot of that more shit, that stuff probably couldn't fly.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because I used to watch a good portion of anime and stuff on YouTube.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It was kind of like, we didn't need these anime streaming sites and stuff, whatever, or even way before Crunchyroll came up, whatever. And Crunchyroll is like the Netflix of anime, right?
Right.
You could watch a full episode of an anime and stuff, whatever, on YouTube before Google acquired them.
Okay.
People just take it, upload it, blah, blah, blah. Once Google bought them for the billions, they start tightening up the vice grips on a lot of things.
Okay.
Because I saw a video and stuff, whatever, where like, I think way back when it was like two chicks, like say they were chasing each other down with like water balloons or something, like throwing them at each other and everything. And then one girl, like her shirt was drenched. She took off shirt, rang out shirt, free nip.
Right.
And I was like, okay, YouTube, okay.
Yeah.
And then I remember like when I heard Google and stuff, whatever about it, whatever, right? I just typed in some stuff like two girls fighting, water balloons and stuff like that. Nope.
It's gone.
I ran it through Yahoo.
Yeah.
And sent the link, not to YouTube though, to like, I think like either Daily Motion.
Yeah, I was about to say like Daily Motion.
So I was like, okay. So they're tightening up shit and stuff whatever over there. But then, like I said, the music video, when I saw it, I was looking at it, I was like, is that the taste?
Wow.
So I was like, well, YouTube, they,
No, I was wondering what YouTube, because even like I mean, in the US and not here in Canada, you have the TV service with their YouTube.
yeah, but
So
these channels are more family type of oriented.
there's still more family type oriented.
Right, because if
Okay.
you look at something like, say, HBO and all that, that's their own streaming service, and they don't
Right.
interact with YouTube, right?
Right. Okay.
So it's
okay.
kind of like, yeah, the HBO, the Max, those type of things.
Right.
Yeah, you expect to see like some
Yeah.
from those, whatever.
Yeah.
But like YouTube,
Okay.
to the channels they require stuff. Do you expect to see a nipple on HGTV? Like, what is that?
I mean, a native nipple.
That's Geographic.
That's Geographic. Sorry.
Yeah. And Disney owns them.
Yeah,
It's like
you're right,
everybody's owning somebody.
Everybody's
and stuff,
owning
whatever,
somebody.
right? So it's a different landscape and stuff, whatever. Because it's kind of like, if you're gonna own somebody, you gotta own like possible bads and all that type of stuff, whatever, as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, you look at where, I can't remember what company bought Bape from Nego, right?
Mhm.
And then Nike came after them with the lawsuit.
Yeah.
But I'm looking like, you acquired Bape from Nego.
Yeah.
You got to acquire all the bad and the good and stuff,
Right.
whatever. The good is the customers.
Right.
The bad is this.
Right.
So
Nike, man, that's a smart move on Nike. Because you imagine, right? The company who bought it off of Nego, they might be 4 to 5 times bigger. And what they plan on doing with that whole licensing is like, yeah, Nike's like, yeah, smaller fish, just a big fish just ate a small fish. Now it's time to come in and just go shark hunting.
capitalism.
Capitalism at its
Gotta
finest.
love it. All right, man. I know we're gonna talk, but okay,
we gotta talk.
We're gonna talk
gotta
and stuff,
talk.
whatever.
Yeah.
Let's start with Tory. Let's worry about the Canadian hope.
Okay. The Canadian Oldies.
Yeah, so Tory Lanez got stabbed 14 times in prison. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah,
Let's talk.
When I first heard, my concerns was, I hope all was well with brother Tory. 14 times, when you hear stuff like that happen in a place where it happened, nobody was trying to make anybody live after that, right? So I was just hoping, and because they didn't lead with so and so had passed, yeah, I knew, okay, he's somewhere. We just hope that he's in a condition where he can recover from.
Does that say something about our society? And I don't mean to say it like seem like, I guess, a Larry King or something like that, but I look at it as where, if we don't hit a death aspect first,
Yeah,
then we just automatically like, well, he survived. But like, it still might be life-threatening shit, like he might not be the same.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, I look at it stuff as like, okay, he took it upon himself to like, I think like, go out to the medias. I don't know if it's either the gram or Twitter or everything and stuff out there, but I look at it stuff as like, at least he reached out himself,
Right,
to let everybody know, like, what's going on and stuff with him and everything like that. It's kind of like, when you see the player get injured on the field and they do the thumbs up.
They put the thumbs up.
It felt like that. So I was like, okay, that's good.
Right.
Right. And then considering when you're hearing that he got stabbed in his head.
Oh, yeah,
and
2
like,
collapsed lungs.
Yeah, like all
yeah.
there and everything. I was like, yo, I'm like, that is serious.
It was a serious thing, man. Serious thing.
My thing and stuff is the accused person who, I guess, was saying, who did the stabbing.
Yeah.
So to speak and stuff like that. Conspiracy theorists, they were rocking.
Oh, they were out. They were out. They
started fast. Because it's kind of like, I was like, damn, Tory Lanez got stabbed today. Like, it's like I saw it, let's say 11 Eastern time, whatever, right?
Right.
Boom. Come like 1:30 or sometimes still on my lunch break and stuff like that, whatever. They're like, Meg Thee Stallion at Rock Nation. I was like, is he okay? Like, is he okay?
But that's as I said. I think many people were just like how I had. The first impression was, we did not hear. It did not lead with so and so had passed.
Right.
once that was clear out of the way, I think all hell broke loose with all speculations before he even tried to figure out what his condition was. Right? As like everything was flying around. So the Megs, the Stallion, one was rocking for a bit. I heard the flirting with the girlfriend. I don't know if you heard that one.
Which girlfriend?
So apparently, is Costello's name or whoever it is that did the stabbing?
Okay, the accused.
Apparently, his wife. They're saying how his wife
is a Tory Lanez fan.
Came to look for him at the cell
at the
prison, and apparently, Tory must have been flirting with her.
All right, go ahead.
Dude apparently didn't like that, and supposedly
it was a revenge.
It was a revenge type of deal. So now, and here's the thing: us outside of jail culture, we're looking at it like, shit. This guy got stabbed 14 times and almost lost his life. This is a regular thing that happens in jail. I don't want you to think like this is regular. People are losing their lives like on a regular. We're only hearing of it because it's Tory Lanez, right? And he's a celebrity, but people get shanked. You know, it's not an uncommon thing to happen in jail, and people are not living. You know, people are not living. So I say that to say this: the fact that he's in there, whether he's in there for the right reason or he's in there for the wrong reason, bro, thank God he's alive.
I think that was the main thing and stuff, whatever, right? Because it would I don't know, like who am I? I say, and let me start with that. I say, who am I? Because I look at it stuff as where there's something about that whole Meg Thee Stallion Tory Lanez case.
Yeah.
Never set right with me.
Right.
Right. And then to know for a fact that, like, let's say he's been proclaiming that he's innocent, right?
Yeah.
He's been proclaiming that he's innocent and stuff like that. And, you know, she's playing this. There's a gun involved. There's a gun involved, and I guess because she got shot,
right?
She's off the list,
right?
Like, I look at it stuff as how many movies have we seen, and not even just movies, but even scenarios and stuff like that, whatever, where it's kind of like the gunman puts the gun on the person and stuff, whatever, right? I'm not saying you gotta shut the fuck up, but I'm saying, like, there's a gun pointing in your face. Act like you got some sense, yeah. But then it'd be like, you won't pull it, you son of a. You promoting this person to pop you.
You're taunting now, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I look at it stuff as like, I don't know what went down in the vehicle that night, whatever, right?
Right.
But I do know for a fact that, like, Meg said she ain't fucking with Tory like that till she fucked him like that a few times and stuff, whatever. Yeah. You's a liar.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that situation and stuff, whatever. And the public has known this now.
Yeah.
So I look at it stuff like, it would be so unfortunate for the man to lose his life to know for a fact that you lied and helped put a man behind bars.
Right.
And I'm not coming at her and stuff like that, but this is what the internet has made us to believe.
Right.
So I look at it stuff as like, let's make sure this dude is straight. Now, the dude who stabbed him and stuff, whatever, was wild to me and stuff is that, like, he was in there for prison for life.
For murder. Yeah.
Murdering a 13-year-old girl.
Yes.
So when you're telling me he has wife and stuff, whatever, I'm like, what the hell? What the hell?
But yeah, that's
what the hell he say?
And I heard the whole wife thing before I even heard about why he was in there for. So when I heard the word, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So I look at it stuff as like, again, you're right. Like, the prison culture and stuff, whatever, like, these things and stuff do happen. And this is how, I guess they squabble up and settle some things and stuff like that, whatever. My thing and stuff is that the GoFundMe, I'm pissed off about.
That's insane. That, like,
the GoFundMe for the man that stabbed, that almost took somebody's life. We're championing an attempted murderer.
Yeah.
If he got the job done and stuff, whatever, would there still be a GoFundMe? Because that's the thing that's sickening to me. I'm looking like, you just try to take somebody's life. Fuck if they wink at your woman and all that type of stuff, whatever. Like, well, when a conjugal visit comes, she's fucking me. Yeah, she's thinking about me. She's still fucking me. She ain't making a conjugal visit with you. So why should I care? And he's supposed to be in there for life.
Yeah. I was like, you gonna buy this nigga cigarettes? Like I don't get it.
No,
like
no.
I didn't get it, and I thought it was just disgusting. I was just
I guess we're always gonna champion bad now.
And you know what? I'm disappointed that Meg didn't come out and just disown or whatever. Just make a statement and be like, listen.
Oh, say like I got nothing to do with it.
Not even to say, if you're truly a fan of me, yeah, you know what, he's in there, he's paying his price for what I perceive he's done to me, but at no way in time should this man ever lose his life, and I'm denouncing this act of you.
Yeah, I don't know, because consider the fact she had like a restraining order and shit like that and all that type of stuff. I don't expect much from Meg now. Like I said, like from when lies are disproven,
Yeah,
and all the above. And remember, if it was her best friend at the time, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at him like, if your best friend don't fuck with you like that, whatever, like, oh, at the time, I don't know you. Why should I even try to give a shot to fuck with you? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it was just like, when I guess the new evidence was presented, like the new evidence is on its way getting presented. Tory got stabbed up. Like I said, the conspiracies was cooking. They were cooking. So I was like, okay, I don't know who's gonna come home first and stuff, whatever. Tory or Diddy. You ready to go to Diddy? you ready? You ready? Folks, the moment you all been waiting for. The take that trials. Down. All right, is Diddy going down? Let's start with that, and then tell me your thoughts and stuff about everything so far from your side.
He may not go down for the racketeering. He may not go down for the racketeering.
Oh, you're not only good looks. I appreciate you.
Yeah. From what I've been,
How do you have a one-man Rico? The only person I can see getting caught in the Rico and stuff for her is him and Cassie.
That's that.
All I've been hearing and stuff, like not even the chick from Danny Kane or even those other chicks stuff. I'm like, it seems like a one-man Rico.
Yeah.
You guys said sex trafficking. They said a lot of things, drugs.
Well, I mean, and
I ain't hear shit yet.
And from what I'm understanding, it's like you're trying to say it's the staff, but I don't hear much about the staff involvement and all that testimony that was going down. Yeah, they might have cleaned the room, but I don't think that would have been anything that would constitute, like a RICO charge. I'm coming in, I'm clean, like I'm on my own business. I'm probably maybe 6 floors down. I get a call to come clean the room. I come up, everything, the freak officer's already, I have witnessed nothing. I'm just doing my job, what I'm getting paid for, which is to clean the damn room.
Right.
What am I complicit to? Like what am I a part of? But how do you prove that I'm a part of this?
This, like I said, this 8-week thing, if their goal is to destroy his character,
yeah,
you didn't need trial for that.
No, they did not.
Once that video went out of Cassie getting dragged in the telly, you were good. You didn't need to prove about his character. Like, let's get to the.
No. I think
you needed more than that.
It's not that I needed more than that.
Yeah.
But the fun and how deviously and how scummity scum on top of the scum
scummity scum
on top of the scum,
more scum,
and then how freak McNasty this dude really is. This is like cherry on top of the cake. Like
I think I think okay. Let's say this.
And let me put this out there.
Go ahead.
I've always, when you look at somebody and you can just see like there's just something about this person that wasn't revealing itself, but you knew, like they're like, he always seemed kind of like freakish to me. He did.
What gave that energy, Smooth? Please elaborate. The microphone is yours, sir. Please.
Just some of his mannerisms, like the way how he would look.
We call a man daddy.
Yeah.
You call a grown man daddy that's not your father. He had genuine puff daddy issues. Like, I don't understand. Everything about, like, let's say this. Diddy, my issue, okay. My issue with Diddy and stuff, whatever, is that, like, when they start checking all these tapes, like, remember Arsenio Hall?
Yeah.
He's there with Mike Tyson. He's putting his hand on Mike Tyson's leg.
Yeah.
We see all of this type of stuff, whatever. Like, the man's by.
Yeah.
We're in that world, with all the, with the Rainbow Mafia and everything doing their thing.
Right.
He's by. I don't know what part of the cuckolding is in the game for me, where, like, I'm gonna let my woman, like, catch another nigga's nut and rub it on my nipples.
But this is what I'm saying.
But
Marv, this is what I'm saying. Like, if you're bi, that's one thing, right? If you're for the favor of the same sex, and you pretend to be straight, that's another thing, right? But
no,
but I'm looking like bi and some gay men are looking at what this guy's doing and saying, yo, this is even beyond me.
You think so?
That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, some people probably know, like, yo, yeah, I'm not surprised that he get down like that. But then they're looking at the acts like, yo, he get down like that. You know what I mean? Like, some of the the queer eye for the straight guys, the guys who are.
But that's what the Q and that LGBTQ is questioning. He doing questionable things. We know this.
Really questionable things.
Questionable queer things. Because I look at it as where I think, I always say, like, when you get to a point where, like, missionary ain't it no more, whatever, like, you are definitely bored of sex. Like, you found another way and stuff, whatever, on your fetish freak factor. Because I look at it stuff where I wasn't taught that.
Right.
I wasn't taught that. No, I was never told this stuff. I heard a convo and stuff, whatever, like, yo, big man thing, yo. You see what a woman, like, let her jerk off another guy and take his thing and rub it on your nipple. I've never heard a combo like that. So I'm looking at stuff as like,
not in my million years. I've added that. I've added a couple to my lifetime.
Those things and stuff, whatever, I'm not watching and stuff, whatever, because I expect nothing but the least of him, right?
Yeah.
My thing and stuff is where we're like, all right, if I'm prosecution, I'm trying to destroy his character. I don't need, it don't take much. It doesn't take much of stuff, whatever, right? Where are you tying this in? Because, okay, he's a monster. He hit this woman, he dragged this woman, he made her feel a type of way.
Yeah.
Until you see the messages that she sent him. Until you see that she's the one paid for the escort, whatever, right?
Yeah.
She like, oh, she was coerced and stuff. And I'm like, where are we holding Cassie accountable?
No, we're not holding Cassie accountable. That's not what the trial is for. The trial's to hold Puffy, P. Diddy, Sean Combs accountable.
For what? That he hit Cassie? We seen the thing.
They hold him accountable for the wrong things.
And that's it. I'm looking like, yo.
And that's why I say I don't think that,
he's walking, man.
I don't think he'll get for that. But yeah, I mean, it's the humiliation. It's on full display.
It has to be.
It's on full display.
I think it has to be.
And I say that because there's going to be some people who, as despicable as the beating they seen him do to Cassie, for some sick reason will still rock with him because they feel like that's like a man, you know, they're in that old school feeling of that's a man's place, this, that, and other, you know, they had that type of mindset. But to hear that this man is taking another man's nut and rubbing on his nipples, now that's a different thing to a man who has that type of mindset. That's not a, you know, yeah.
Oh, so you're saying
Yeah.
that like if there was like
Not only no, I thought he was, you know, I thought he was machacho to lay down the law on Cassie. Oh no, I don't think that no more. He's having nut on his chest. He's something different.
Mhm. I look at it as like I think the focus of like the nut, I'm gonna call it Nutgate now. Nutgate, like on his chest and stuff, whatever. Nut nipple. Call it nut nipple.
Nipple nut.
I don't understand the stuff where like let me, I'm not even concerned and stuff that because what everybody does in the bedroom is different things. Right? Like I look at it stuff as where this other shit
Yeah,
that
no, it's different. No, and I'm not discrediting that. It's different, right? But at what point do you separate? And how does the jury? I think that's the most important thing. How does the jury separate different from deviant? Because if you're painting him as to be deviant, right?
Mhm.
These charges, what you're trying to throw on him, might have a little better chance of sticking because you're looking at
Not to me. I would
not to you,
I'd be a
not to
different. It
you.
doesn't say I'd be a different juror because I'm looking
Right.
like we're here for racketeering, we're here for sex trafficking, we're here for the prostitution aspect and stuff like that. Whatever. I've only heard like if I'm juror and stuff, whatever. Miss Ventura
Yeah.
and let's say the artist from Dandy Kane and some other people and stuff, the other women and stuff to kind of come up and everything like that. You weren't sex trafficked,
No.
so your words are saying what now? That's what I'm looking at stuff like as a juror thing, and but everybody like I heard other rhetoric stuff. It's an 8-week trial. It's an 8-week trial. It's only been 2 weeks and stuff like. I'm like, they need to get into somewhere with stuff with it because the defense. This is an easy, we push that shit to the side. Like the defense, you don't have a chance.
They got the one witness is still still missing in action. I don't know who else they're gonna call. They had 3 main witnesses. I think that we seen the 2, right?
Mm.
And the third they can't seem to find. I don't know if they have. I don't know if they're gonna call to the stand like because again, the recall can't be one person.
Bingo.
So does this mean they plan on calling any staff members to the stand? Like who did he conspire with? Like you have to have conspiracies. Somebody else that he conspired with.
For recon.
So do they plan on calling other people to the stand?
I don't know because like remember in the beginning there was the drug dealer guy, the white dude who's a drug dealer,
Right.
where I guess he's supposed to got the drugs from.
Right.
Then you had the other lady. I think she had like black hair. Another white lady where I think she was the one who got the girls, so to speak.
Okay.
I don't see her.
Right.
I ain't hear from the other guy since like they scooped him.
She was supposed to. What they say he
months.
was his
when they had the raids.
Ghislaine.
Yeah, like that. Like
right.
So I'm looking. I'm like, okay, bring up their names. See how you were tied into them. Because if not, whatever. This is just to show that this man and stuff is like I feel like a domestic violence thing is easy to be like it's easy to see to the world where we want to pin him away, but how long are you going to keep him away for that? Whatever. When it's been oh so long, his therapist could say like he's spoken about that,
Yes.
got off of it, he's changed, brother love,
and and maybe if he was able to convince the policeman at that time security guard to take the money, maybe then they might have had some sort of connection to say, okay, yeah, he has a criminal empire where he pays to get stuff done, but they can't even tie that.
No. My question, I think the weird thing for me, there's tons of weird things, but let's say the Cassie's husband not allowed to be there for I guess whenever she goes to the stand, like he has to
Is it the next room? They have a little side room that they
he has to be excused and stuff, whatever. Okay, so he's going to the next room and aside for what? Not to hear the graphic shit? Because we're nowhere near the fucking courtroom and we hear all the graphic shit from like Cassie getting pissed in her mouth.
Yeah.
And all some type of extra shit like, nut nipple and all. You think the husband's not gonna hear this?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of that? The thing that's weird to me and stuff is Diddy, like, and the kids. Because, okay, the twin girls,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of father Diddy is, right? But like the twin girls, to know for a fact that, like, you saw your father beat another woman down, whatever, that he claimed he loved at the time and stuff, whatever. Then to say you're gonna have your kids present in the courtroom to hear, like Cassie getting pissed in the mouth, the beat down, and all this type of stuff, whatever. Like, it's an image to kind of like portray to like, what do these girls think about their father now? Like, what do you think they're thinking about their father now?
Yeah, I think with that whole thing of because they only came like the first day, and they were there to a certain point. But I think there was no plans for them coming after the first day, and I think they thought the opening arguments would have been longer. I think they thought the opening arguments would have took like the entire day, but it didn't. The opening arguments was like maybe a few hours in, and then they went right into the chalky. So I don't think they were expecting to be there to hear any of that graphic stuff.
Can't take it back now.
They can't take it back now.
I look at we live in a digital world, right? And where these kids and stuff are way more tech savvy than the most. But I look at it as where the ridicule, these kids have to still go to school.
Yeah.
And the ridicule that they might get from like classmates to other people in the school, that's one thing. But then to hear it, and to see like, like let's say Diddy was just stone face, or let's say he was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're saying all of this and stuff like that, whatever.
Yeah.
Them now to be like, it's one thing where people are like, ha, your dad does this, to like, your dad's doing this, the judge is saying it, he's not even shaking his head like, that's not true, or the lawyer's not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then for the lawyer to say, if we're here for the fact that Sean Combs and stuff is a domestic violence or an abuser and everything like that, okay. I thought we were here for the RICO and racketeering and the prostitution thing and stuff like that, whatever. They still got to take in this information.
Yeah. I don't think it was ever a position where they didn't think that they were gonna get exposed or at some point hear the information. I just think that, like, again, that with that opening, I thought, they probably thought like the opening speeches would have been longer, and then okay, let's just have all the family show up on day one to show like the support type of deal, and then after day one, like, you already know how it's gonna get down. Y'all don't come for the rest of it. But like I said, that opening statements, they were really short, and then they went right into the meat and potatoes. Like, Cassie was the first witness. How do you not hear those details? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, her whole testimony is based upon those details. So for them to be there and witness that, I think it was just a miscalculation. I don't think they expected, like I said, the statements to be that short and to be there. I don't expect them to be at any other parts of this.
If they're smart.
The mom, I think the mom was missing the Friday. The mom didn't show up.
Who?
Puffy's mom.
Oh, okay.
I think the Friday she didn't show up. So again, like, I don't think it's...
You gotta live with this. That this is the child. This is your child.
You gotta live with it, right?
This is a lot. This is a lot.
It's a lot, man. It's like somebody was saying the kids, is like, it's not only like you lose your father, but if they turn around and it becomes like a civil suit type of deal, like, they could, this could pretty much bankrupt him, and then these kids are left with nothing.
I think no, he's done.
He's
done.
That's it?
Because I think that, I think that the reason why I say like that's it is because if the goal or the aim is to destroy his character,
that.
why would you attach any kind of dollar business or plans with a person like this?
Right.
Like you just automatically seem like you might be possibly twisted and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah.
Because I look at it stuff as where Revolt cut ties way before trial.
Yeah.
Right. There's so many companies that cut ties before trial. It takes I don't want to say a sick. It takes a straight, like, you got to have like some blind hope to think that the name Sean John Combs can bring you dollars to whatever company or whatever event you think you might be able to hold. Because you're going to get calamity from just like your protesters.
The only thing that would have saved him now is if he was smart, seen all of this coming and started moving money. Started moving money around, you know what I mean? Investing wherever he could invest and because you're right. There's nobody going to attach themselves to whatever he making. There is no brand to attach yourself to at this point anyway, right?
Right.
So what do you make your money off of? Nobody's not going to want you to be a part of the music world because your name is tainted, right? The fashion world, your name is tainted. The beverage world, your name is tainted. Everything that you do is tainted. Everything that you and it's not like you're like a behind the scenes person where you can just slip into another market unbeknownst and become, do some business there. No, you're Puff Daddy. People are like, fuck, what do you mean you're an oil baron now? No, fuck you, Puffy. I see what you do with oil. Type deal, right? That is like, there's no way you can escape. So you're gonna really have to move money secretly because again, if these lawsuits happen, they're coming for your coin.
But and that's the thing. I think that just with the court jargon and stuff, I want to say from the lawsuits, not only lawsuits, the lawyer fees, right?
Right,
Like even if you attach,
they say 10 mil.
like yeah, because you're adding like Brian Steele on as a counselor and everything like that, whatever. These people are bleeding you. Meanwhile, you're not making money.
Ooh,
You're not making money, and it's not like you're on road.
No,
you're inside.
Yeah.
So canteens and commissaries and stuff have to be kind of like done to kind of keep you safe.
Yes.
Whatever, right? You got to pay these lawyers and stuff for that. You have kids to feed, young kids to feed. Because I think the youngest is like what, maybe a 1 year old now or something like that. So I'm like, you got mouths to feed. I was like, your dollars are just draining. I don't know the rate, but they're draining. Yeah. Right? And I look at it, so I was like, you're not gonna make it. Like who? And that's why I say he's done because I look at who's gonna attach what to what. What?
Forgive me for the analogy, but so the prosecution is like the United States of America. Puffy's like Canada, right? We're draining. The resources are draining. I don't know how long they'll stay into the fight.
Oh my god!
I don't know how long they'll stay in the fight. At some point, the prosecution is gonna get them, man.
The prosecution's gonna bounce. They're definitely gonna bounce. Like they because they look at stuff. The prosecution's looking like I gotta see what the fuck they're gonna do and stuff for it to pertain to like the catching this RICO thing.
Yeah.
Because other than that, we're like, I'm not seeing a play.
I believe there's something big to come. Right? I don't think that there is like
what
again,
kind of come? Nipple come?
Well,
there you go again.
I hope.
There you go. There you go.
Maybe for Puffy's sake. I don't think they set up this case, do all this research, and go through all this way and not have something big other than just Cassie. They're clearly they're in it to win it. They say was it 90 something % rate of conviction. So they don't really do things unless they're really sure of it. So I think they have something in the tuck that we're just not aware of. Something else that ties it. There's got to be something else that ties. They could not really think that they would get a conviction based upon what they've shown us so far.
We'll see. Who else I want to talk about in that case? And Danny Kane. No, not even her. Oh, Cassie's husband. Do you think he'll stay with her? Because I feel like I'm seeing a vision in my head where at least 2 years and stuff down the line,
Yeah.
he's bouncing with some of that 20 million. He's bounced with some of that money that Cassie got.
Yeah.
So I don't see him staying.
I mean, I really don't see anybody staying together in Hollywood. So when he probably bounces is probably a better question for me, because I don't see him staying either. And just for the fact that I don't really see, I think they just get bored too easily in the Hollywood circles, and they move on too quickly.
But he was a trainer though. So would you consider him Hollywood compared to like remember you always shit on Shamar Moore and everything?
No, I
like
consider
that, whatever, right?
I think once you're in that, circle, you're in that circle. I think
So if you're like a Hollywood dog walker, you're in the circle?
yeah, I think there's a comfort with people understanding, like, you know what the lifestyle is, type of deal. You know what I mean? Like if you marry me, or if you're interested in me, you already know what you're getting into, type of deal. It's kind of hard to convince somebody on the outside of the world. Like if you're like a dog, I'm pretty sure like a dog walker within Hollywood is much more hip to the game than a dog walker in New York, let's say.
Okay.
Right? Like I even though I'm a dog walker, I know how to handle myself amongst these Hollywood elites. I know what to do and what not to do. So if I so happen to be out somewhere, and somehow I can play the role. So I think like within that circle, I don't think you really have to be like an A-lister to an A-lister, but at least be able to understand the A-lister lifestyle. So if you're called upon the role, because remember, it's all acting. If you're called upon to do a role, you can play that role successfully.
I feel like for her, or for them being on kid number 3,
yeah,
I feel like it was more of a situation where she was more reclusive from the limelight after Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she kind of lived like a regular type of world, and I don't say not regular, like we're talking about like a everybody thing. She still had like, let's say, her star power to an extent.
Yeah.
Not as heavy as like she would have probably hoped, because we heard Diddy been blacklisting a lot of people, her husband included, right? Because the husband was a trainer for him and stuff as well at the time.
Yeah.
But I look at it stuff as where there's some parts and stuff where I wouldn't really attach them, because it's kind of like, okay, you're fired, where this person's the new it trainer or something like that, whatever, right?
Right.
So I wouldn't really put them and stuff that much into the Hollywood thing in my eyes.
Yeah.
But I look at it stuff as where she takes a step down, or take a step away, or even say she's blacklisted to a level. Not saying you're mediocre or regular folk and stuff like that, but you're a step up from them.
Yeah.
And his name has probably been tarnished in a good portion of places and stuff like that, whatever. So he probably even had to do like a fit for less. And not even knocking my Planet Fitness.
Right.
I'm not even knocking him and stuff like that. But I look at it as like, you're not that life where like you might have seen like a constant $250,000 income annually.
Yeah.
Now with the whole thing with, Cassie and the lawsuits and stuff against his companies and everything like that, you got some bread to the household and stuff like that, whatever, right? I would hope them as a solid married couple have these conversations prior to trial popping off.
Right.
Be like, Cassie be like, yo, so real quick, when this trial goes down, they called me up there and stuff, whatever. I got peed in my mouth, like,
yeah.
There's some things that was happening there and stuff, whatever. You had this conversation with your husband prior.
Well, I would hope that she did have these conversations prior.
And then now husband and stuff, whatever. I think if he leaves and stuff, whatever, he's ultimate dirtbag, because it was like, yo, this is before you try to come save me from him.
Right.
Right? And I look at it stuff as like, I don't know, like, it's not even a Hollywood thing. I just look at it stuff as like, as a man, could you really live to know for a fact that your current wife or someone's exes to this type of scale and level of like debauchery, we'll call it debauchery.
Yeah.
And then you're like, good night, honey. Go kiss that pissy mouth.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Some form of preparation would have had to been happening because they said the defense might put him on a stand for that whole him punching a wall when I guess she had called him at some time when her and Puffy were having sex, and this must have been during the time that they were now together.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying, anger filled rage, the defense might call him on the stand to defend that. So I'm assuming if he's playing that much part of a role in the trial, then
Pay the man for his acting.
that too.
There will be a new K-Fed.
Imagine
There will be a new K-Fed to
Imagine-
rise.
you find out that you've been limbering up your now wife
Or another man.
so she can have more endurance during the freak offs.
Might. But what I'm hearing about these alleged freak offs is just Diddy, Cassie, and maybe a 1-2 person. Maybe a one person.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's just Diddy and Cassie
Yeah,
I'm hearing
see,
about. So I'm like, where's this freak off shit? Whatever.
No, it's
I was like,
voyeurism.
that's what I said. I was like, this whole thing is smoke and mirrors.
It's voyeurism. Voyeurism or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? With cockhold or cockhold
Yeah.
or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. You know what I mean? It's like they made it seem like this man was having freaking orgies. Like,
man, I thought you were gonna hear like Mary J. Blige was in the corner. Shout out to Mary. I love you, Mary. But you and Diddy got a close relationship. So I'm thinking like, Mary getting done in by like 3 dicks or something like that.
One of those toga parties, everybody walking around and like blankets wrapped around their body.
I was like, oh, I left before the freak offs popped up. So they're like, so who the fuck is in this shit? And then like before it started, Mike Myers got called and stuff. Like his name got brought up.
Yeah.
And Michael B. Jordan and shit like that. I was like, damn. And then like this other chick at work, she's like, see, I love to see the Michael B. Jordan fucking some other chick at a Diddy freak off and everything like that to see how he get down. So I was like, where? Yeah. Cause like even last week and stuff, whatever, like, when they were calling out names and stuff, I was like, all right, we'll wait till things kick off more and stuff. And this previous week, a lot more things got kicked off. I'm looking, this guy's walking. He's walking. I know you said it's like they 90% rate, whatever.
Yeah.
So far they look 90% stupid.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if they're depending on what they've shown so far, then I don't see it. I don't see the conviction for the trial.
I was gonna say, like, if their aim is to damage his credibility, you've already done that. From that tape leaked, you've already done that and stuff, and his credibility and the fact that he had that half-ass apology and stuff, whatever. After that, his credibility has been shot. They eviscerated him on the internet just with the social media aspect.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the further, and then they already know what the deal is, and then probably halfway through it, they just plea bargain and say, "Okay, listen, we'll give you this lesser charge for lesser time," because I don't think they're gonna get him on the racketeering. They can and again, it's like they can change they can change their charges or whatever, right? So if they do decide to do that, yeah, the racketeering, no, I don't think they'll get him on the racketeering. Again, like I don't see it. Like I'm a lowly Diddy worker. I have no clue to I just come up and I just see a whole bunch of shit. I didn't partake in it. I'm just here to clean. I didn't witness to anything. You can't say that I'm now a conspirator to this act.
Yeah. That's cold blooded. That's just cold blooded because when I heard about the like I guess like the kiddie pool
with the lube,
with the baby oil and the lube and everything like that, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you get hired the next day to come clean this up, whatever, and then Diddy can be a jerk and shit like that. He's like, you walk into the room and stuff like, what the hell? And then he's like, make sure none of that spill on my $1 million rug and stuff, whatever. You're like, This is hard, dog. Like, can I get another body to help carry some of this oil out? Whatever. You can't pour it down the drain.
I would, I would be interested to hear the cleaning staff. Bring the cleaning staff up on the stand. I'll be interested to hear what they, you know what I mean? Some of the stuff that they've witnessed, like just even having to dispose of, like some of the stuff that they had to dispose of.
You need a Ray Donovan. Diddy needed a Ray Donovan. That's what the fuck he needed. Yeesh. All right. Well, fuck it. And tune in next time to the Take That trial.
The swimming pool with the baby oil is wild, yo. Then the point where they're talking about that whole testimonial part when he's like, why so much baby oil? It's like, yeah, because Sean would say, we're not shining enough, we're not glistening enough. We need more. I can see Cassie glistening up herself. Like, this is, dude, he was directing the movie. I like the man was direct. He was living on his porn fantasies. This was what was happening.
Look, that's why I think these freak off tapes were okay. I feel like, yo, do you have like volumes to like the old Booty Talk porns back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, Booty Talk like 13 to Booty Talk number 68.
Yeah.
I think there was just like you had Freak Off tape number 1 to Freak Off tape number 2, like 2000 and shit like between him and Cass. So I look at it stuff as, or his women that he was interacting with, whatever, right? I look at it as stuff as where I don't expect, let's say this. When I heard one dude say this, like, yo, he has a few sex tapes of his own, separate guys.
Right.
Whatever, right? I'm like, oh shit, you keep these things and stuff for there? He's like, yeah, not really for the chicks and stuff for there, just for like what kind of wild state of mind I was in to do all of this shit. So I'm like, this is your trophy, I guess, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I think like these freak out tapes is just like his trophies. But they kept selling the dream. Like I was more invested before we got to this point.
Yeah.
This point right now, I'm looking like, he's getting off, man.
He's getting off.
I don't want to hear no more and stuff, whatever, right? Like, yeah, like in more ways than some. With nipple nut, like it's just different.
It's just different.
It's just different, man. Earth today is a different place.
Oh man. Oh.
This is,
can we talk about the alien Joey Badass? Did you hear the freestyle?
Yeah. What about it?
Yeah. No, he said Earth today, and he said that he dropped those out of space alien vibes. Was like, yo, it just reminded me.
And then even with Joey and stuff, whatever, with Joey and his, it's not even like, I think, let's say Ray Vaughn.
Yeah.
Ray Vaughn just didn't like the fact that I guess Joey kind of called out people.
Right.
Because he called out Kendrick and stuff, whatever, in his freestyle and stuff like that, whatever. And I do believe that I took it as a control part, like another version of control.
Yeah.
Set the bar high. Whoever comes and stuff, whatever, showcase your skills. Like with Tory Lanez and with, what's his name again? Jordan Lucas.
Right.
Jordan Lucas. I look at the stuff as just like that. Set the bar. When the competition comes, they come. Showcase your talent. Call it a day and stuff like that, whatever, right? But I'm looking like, Joey's not the one to say like, he hasn't had decent, like good lyrics.
Right.
And I think maybe because the whole thing with his rise in power in the Book of Canaan has kind of taken place and stuff, whatever, and plus his acting with the Wu-Tang stuff, and his other films that he's been in.
Yeah.
I think they just kind of sleep on his skill, but he has skills.
Yeah. And you know who's like that too? I think because of that, Common.
Common has skills.
Yeah.
Actor, activist, and then some, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I think the thing and stuff is where I think when you got it, you got it. And I think if you're doing it for a hustle, you don't got it.
Right.
Because I look at it stuff as, and there's no shade to 50, but when 50 announced that he was retiring from it, whatever, I looked at it stuff, I was like, I think you did it straight for the hustle.
Right.
Because if it's naturally innate in you and stuff, like, you're a beat maker.
Yeah.
No one can't stop you from making beats.
Yeah.
You'll make beats and stuff in the middle of the night and all that type of stuff and do your ones and twos.
Right.
And if any case and stuff, whatever, it might not be like on a grandiose scale, but you'll still showcase that I still got it.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think when you're opting out, like let's say like even a Joe Buttons, you were doing it, then you didn't, whatever. I don't think you still got it. I just think it just you did it for the hustle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that,
or maybe not even maybe not even at a hustle. Maybe at the time you thought it was you, and it just turned out not to be you. And it's like you're not.
see, I wouldn't put it in that books because I look at something.
No, the reason why I say that is because it's funny because I never looked at barbering as a hustle. Like I thought, like yo, I would do barbering. You know what I mean? But it came to a point where I think, when I got to around the age of 19, I was like, no, actually in my mind, I don't really want to do this for the rest of my life. Right? It's like,
what's wrong with barbering?
No, there's nothing wrong with barbering.
Yeah, no. So why you
But
say
I
you don't
also
want to do
had
this?
I also had music as a hobby, right? So then that became the actual pathway that I chose, right? So
and I would look at it stuff as like if you had a natural love for barbering,
right, then I wouldn't have went with the music.
Well, no. I would look at it stuff as where you still doing music dance,
right?
But I would look at it stuff as where you might even give discount cuts to neighborhood kids going to school for the back to school shit.
Okay.
Or even freebie cuts and stuff like that. Yeah. You're doing it for the love.
Right.
You're not doing it for like the funds. You're not doing it for like it's gonna take you places.
Right.
You're not doing it for the $100 haircut prices that they out here doing it for, whatever. You're doing it for just on the strength of just the love.
Right.
Right. But when you're not doing it and stuff like that, whatever, it was kind of like, you know what? It put money in my pocket. It didn't put as much I probably thought it would do.
Yeah.
So then this is the reason why I'm off of it and stuff like that, whatever, right? Because I look at it stuff as where I think, let's say in my umbrella and stuff, in my scope of everything that I would like to do and stuff in the future,
right?
This will still be this.
Right.
I still love having great conversation with you.
Right.
Whatever, like that, whatever. But like when you put the microphones and stuff in it and it's putting change in our pocket and all that type of stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Keep it pushing.
Right.
Because I look at it stuff as like, yo, I love having the conversation and stuff like that, whatever. And if it comes to a point where let's say you might go elsewhere or you might not be able to and everything like that, whatever, then I'll probably just still hone into something and stuff to be like, all right, that boy Marv, he was with the Podical Sons in the time, and then now he's with Marv and friends and stuff. He's a podcasting motherfucker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I'm still doing it for the love.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever, right? And let's say whatever other business ventures and stuff I have, he multiplied to be like, yo, he's still podcasting? Like, you don't need that too. Whatever. Like, I know I don't need to do it. I do it for the love.
With that being said, do you think we'll get another album out of Jay? Or at least another single out of Jay? Because I always feel like it was like a love thing for him.
And so that's what I feel like and stuff, whatever, too. I do believe that album-wise, whatever, we will probably get one more. Not now.
Yeah.
If I'm going to put time on it, whatever, I don't know how old the twins are, but I want to say at least till they're old enough where I want to say, okay, we heard Blue rap on 444.
Right.
Right? And she was with her kiddie stuff, and then now she's more of a performer with her mother and everything like that, right? That Ye guy is a different guy.
Yeah, different guy.
When he's calling out the kids, and then Beyonce brought out Rumi.
Yeah.
To the show and everything like that, whatever. They're like, oh, okay. So Ye is dropping his words to Sir, because we don't see Sir.
Right, yeah.
Right? And I looked at it and stuff, I was like, if Sir, and I'm not even saying as a father of a child who is on the spectrum, if Sir is on the spectrum, I think it would be well for Jay to kind of speak about how much they went through after they overcome stuff.
Right.
Case in point was the Glory track. The Glory track wasn't on the album. He just dropped it because Blue Ivy was born.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's giving reveals that Beyonce had miscarriages and everything that, right? Because he's talking about it now that they persevered, that they finally have a child born and stuff for them. So I think after a lot of this, come the perseverance and stuff, and all right, got over it, you're going to get something from Jay.
Right.
Music-wise, I think you're still going to get him from certain people's tracks, but they have to drag him enough, bring him out enough, whatever, for him to say yo, let me help bless you, or if it might be more his favor. I feel like, because Khaled is on Rock Nation, right?
Yeah.
So when that God Did track came out, whatever, it's basically putting money back in Jay's pocket, but it's also like pushing Khaled shit. Right. So I feel like if he's doing it to help push another artist and stuff like that, whatever, I believe that's the kind of mode that most of these OG rappers are in now.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll get music, but album, like studio album and stuff, whatever.
Nah,
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a while. That boy Ye is awful for that thing. That whole calling out their kids, and they're like, I guess what, inseminated babies and stuff. That, yeah. How come they lock him up yet in conservatory? They lock up Britney Spears, a white woman, and they let the black man run free with this shit. What pisses me off is even Rogan.
Yeah.
Rogan is saying the High Hitler thing has a bop. Joe Rogan, with his affluence and his power to say that on his Joe Rogan Experience, is deadly smooth. This guy, yeah, has to be put down. He has to like put him in a padded room or something, dog.
It's distraction, man.
For what?
I tell you, but he would have to be. He would have to be. They let him roll free, Barv. He's got to be distracting us from something.
Cook the conspiracy theories.
They're letting him roam too free, man.
Let's get to the question of the week, man. Question of the week. You ready?
I'm ready.
What's your first question that you would ask your God?
What took so long to end world suffering?
So you think, okay, I want to paint a setting for you.
Yeah.
Judgment Day? Is this Judgment Day you're having this conversation with God?
Yeah.
Okay, now what if it wasn't Judgment Day? What if it was just your day?
It was just my day?
It was just your day.
When are you gonna end world suffering?
When are you going to end world suffering?
Yeah.
Okay. My question is, do you want to be worshipped? Because I look at it stuff as where if like all powerful God, you got to have balance, right?
Right.
Like, they say, somebody gives up their life for a baby to be born, so to speak. I don't know if it's like statistically speaking for certain things and stuff like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But I look at it stuff as where if you're doing good, eventually you have to do bad as a God or bad in someone's eyes to kind of create this balance and stuff like that, right? Like if you're taking somebody's life and stuff, they're like, why God, why would you take away Tatalicious from me?
Right.
Because I have to produce life over here. I don't know if a person like that, like if you had that power, would you want to be worshipped?
I don't know if I'd want to be worshipped, other than me not being able to stop human nature. And I say that because it's so, me being a benevolent God, right? Doing all this good, at some point, it's only the goodness is only, I think, is only going to reflect back at me, right? And one of the ways that it's reflected back is praise and worship, right? Like if you're walking down the street and just inches before you, a boulder comes smashing down, destroys the concrete. I'm talking about it just milliseconds sooner, you would have been crushed.
Right.
Right? You're thanking the hell out of God, probably whether you believe he exists or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, he's like, shit, divine intervention had saved me. Even if he didn't want to or feel like he's worthy of being praised, I don't think there's nothing in it that's gonna stop you at that point of just the overwhelming gratitude. So I think just from like him just being that effective in people's lives and in people's everyday struggle. Mind you, there's the flip side of that, because sometimes when he ain't around or when people feel like he ain't around, he is getting cursed.
Why have you?
I don't think
why have thou
we
forsaken
don't.
me?
Yeah, I don't. We don't talk about that enough, right?
No,
Because
no.
I think we always say, oh, yo,
But just like I said, just a statement. Why have thou forsaken me? Right?
yeah, right. Like we don't talk about that enough. But I think, yeah, if I'm doing something that's worthy of being praised, I'm not doing it to be praised, so I'm not expecting the praise.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Because I look at it stuff. You work for the cause. You work for the cause, not for the applause.
Right.
Right. So you're doing it because you in your heart of hearts know that this is the right thing to do. This is the best thing to do. Right.
Yeah.
And in the process and stuff, whatever, you're like, everybody has been doing like great shit within their own personal worlds or the right things within their personal world and stuff, whatever, but they don't really get thanked like that, right?
Right.
It was crazy when I think Amazon had a commercial with stuff like I think the lady or Amazon Day, people just ordering regular shit and they have like the news media outside their house clapping, like, oh my gosh, you ordered this toaster and everything. Like, this is just regular shit you do and stuff, whatever, but like they're not, people don't praise you for it, whatever, right?
Right.
You're
Yeah.
like, yo, I need a new toaster. They're like, why did you purchase this type of toaster? I needed to make a bagel and shit like that, whatever. It's just, you're just doing these things.
Look,
go ahead.
Just going back to even shout out to big man like Marv, touch the 40 place, and touch the 40 place, so we're still celebrating. But even like me doing the video, right? It's like I do it because I can do a really good video, and I was like, yo, this is your time to shine. It's your 40th. Let me do something really dope for you, right? And you got it. You really enjoyed it, and you
brought me to tears,
and you thanked me for it, right? I don't think I could look at you and say, no, don't thank me, and you're gonna turn to me and say, okay, no, I'm not gonna bother thank you. You're gonna tell me to shut up and take my thanks and praise,
right? God. So you're saying this stuff regardless and stuff, but you can't really stop it because it kind of goes back to the prayers and blessings thing we were talking about like the previous week,
right? Yeah,
it's kind of like, yo, no matter whatever, somebody's gonna be thanking you, somebody's gonna be hating on you and stuff, whatever. Regardless, you have no control over.
No control over it. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. If I
like, it still would be a want, like, which, like, not saying you're looking for it, but it's kind of like it wasn't needed. It wasn't needed. Like the thanks wasn't needed. Like no thanks required. No thanks. No needed and stuff.
It would have been done regardless.
Right. Yeah. But it's kind of like, yo, it's just you are looked at for, let's say, a task or something that you've done, and you are appreciated.
Right.
And I think that's the thing and stuff. Whatever. It's like the appreciation for, like, let's say, like a religious deity is good.
Yeah.
Right. I look at it stuff as where worship all and everything and stuff, and the people might come for me, but I look at it stuff as where focus on what that might be tangible and then what might not be tangible, because I look at it as stuff as where, let's say you didn't get approved for a loan, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the devil, or it's your credit. It might be your credit.
Might be
just a tad bit. Might be your credit, whatever. Because I'm pretty sure if your shit's A1, everything is immaculate and everything like that. Whatever. They're like, okay, we'll see if you qualify this. Please, dear God, I'll go to church this Sunday. Please let it approve. Whatever. They'll probably look at you across the way, even at whatever place you're like, boss, your credit score is 850. Relax. You're gonna get approved.
That's what this is wild. Where we're coming from as far as
today,
where we're, as religion is concerned. But I mean, like, think about that. I mean, like, it's like from wild to okay, we're here to wild again. Because at one point, you think of religion. At one point, they were like sacrificing humans.
Daniel and the lion's den. What the hell?
They were sacrificing humans to appease their gods.
Yeah.
We look back at that.
We look back at dropped in volcanoes.
Yeah, we look back at that. Heads chopped out, rolling down the pyramids. That we look back at that and say, "Wow, that is so primitive." And then we look fast forward to what's happening right now.
Here we are.
Earth
today. I've been looking at some shit. I was like, 10 years ago would have been like this. I kept saying that, but I was like, 10 years ago, it wasn't this wild, was it? Like, was it?
It wasn't this wild.
It's like everything is unhinged. No, there's no togetherness. There's no compassion. I don't want to seem like a negative Nathan or negative Nancy, but it's just can't stop, won't stop. Pun intended.
You-
Diddy intended.
You,
Like,
you know what it is? Kind of is for me, Marv, is that when I was in my preteens, right?
okay,
We were taught that by the time 2000s came around, it was going to be the future. It was going to be like we were going to see flying cars in 2000s, right? Like that's what we thought growing up, right?
right.
So getting to the 2000s and seeing that we're not even close to that, it was like, all right, we can breathe. You know what I mean? It's like it's not, the future's not coming at us at a whirlwind pace,
Mhm.
right? But I think once we hit that cusp of the next technology wave, I don't think that we were, as a people, were expecting it to move so quickly.
Oh, okay, I get you. I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just that.
You're right. You're right.
That longing for it to reach here. It's like, oh, it's shit. 2000 is not even here yet. It's supposed to be here. But when it got, like, when it just touched, it was like, no, we're still going off the pace that it's still gonna take a while to get. It's gotten to where it is so quickly.
It took off. It did take off. You're right, because we went to a point where, like, like, to, let's say, echo to your thought.
Yeah.
This look at jets and shit. Oh, we fly in cars, or we're gonna have these type of things and stuff near the 2000s. We don't have them and stuff there at the 2000s and stuff like that. Now they have air taxis.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of them are autonomous.
Yeah.
So I look at it, stuff, I was like, how the hell we get here when we didn't have shit in the 2000s?
Right.
I said to echo your thought. So I'm looking at them like, it took off too fast for a lot of people and stuff. Because I was even telling people something like, yo, we got to ride the wave and stuff when it comes to AI. I'm not fucking with AI. I'm not fucking with AI. I'm not fucking with AI. I'm like, okay, you're going to get left behind drastically. You don't fuck with AI and stuff like that. Because it's just like.
No, but it's funny because every single person who told you that they don't fuck with AI, if you have a cell phone in your hand right now, you are fucking with AI. Whatever search engine you've jumped on, there's AI. If you've gotten a new phone within the last year or so, it's filled with AI technology. All of y'all who said you ain't fucking with AI, y'all fucking with AI, whether you like it or not.
Facts. Denial is a river in Africa. Some people are swimming in it. We're here. Let's get to the Ask the Sons. First Ask Sons question comes from Shady91. What would you highly recommend someone should try at least once before they die?
Ziplining.
Ziplining.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say travel outside their country that they were born in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it was a hell of a thing and stuff. I think when, let's say, like, my subconscious or my conscious and stuff was kind of developing.
Yeah.
And my mom, she took me around to, like, let's say we lived in, like, the hoods of Miami.
Yeah.
To, like, the suburbs of, like, let's say Miramar, Pembroke Pines before it became ghetto, because Pembroke Pines is ghetto now, whatever. But it went from like that to see, like, oh, there's another perspective, or there's another world outside the world,
Right.
right? And then it's a whole nother thing, like in a whole nother country where you have to adapt mannerisms and everything. Because when people go to other countries and don't try to change their mannerisms to that country,
Yeah.
you're asking for jail time.
Yeah.
Or you're asking for trouble.
Right.
Whatever, right? So I look at it stuff as like, now you have to kind of adjust and adapt and stuff. And then you're going to get different kind of cultural aspects from people to foods to how they do things and stuff like that, whatever, because you finally giving your chance time to explore.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Mean&Foxy.
Mean&Foxy.
What song do you want to play at your funeral?
That Dirty Dancing song.
The time of you.
Had the time of my life. Yeah, this baby. Yo, play that at my funeral.
Yo, you know, I thought about this the other day. Whatever. Boondocks, the theme song for Boondocks. Is it Asheru? I think that's his name.
Oh,
I am the storm that the building refused. I'm inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. Yo, play that at my funeral, whatever. I'm him. Chop, chop, chop. Judo flip. Yo. Okay. Time of my life. Yo, and I'm not even gonna lie to you and stuff, whatever. Like, it was a vibe when I want to say my Uncle P passed and stuff like that. And it was like, your uncle did I did it my way, Frank Sinatra. And I was like, that song put a different kind of perspective and stuff on like, it was just more of like I did it to do like famous stuff. Like, nah, I'm living my life my way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, I fuck with that song a lot more after his passing. Because I looked at it stuff as like, I probably would never spin that song.
Yeah.
I know Jay-Z did a version of stuff like that on I think the Blueprint 2.
Yeah.
But then to get back to the classic and stuff of it, whatever, after that, I was like, yeah, this is a dope ass song to kind of just say bye-bye with.
Yeah.
So appreciate that song. Last question comes from Mez 777. What is one thing that you don't want to lose?
My virginity.
Shout out to your 2 kids. Get the fuck out of here. Yo.
It's not what I'm talking about, Marv.
Oh! This will be a commercial piece. Cat Williams say you gotta protect your black cherry. Your sweet virgin hole.
At all times.
You protect your sweet virgin hole. Yes. I agree to that.
Yes.
I wasn't ready. Yo, I'm all slumped over in the chair now. Yo, that one was. I was gonna say my peace of mind, but no, fuck that. You're right.
Yeah.
I second that notion. Yes, I don't want to lose my virgin hole. Yes. All right. I think. Wow. that covered a lot. All right. Well, let's get to the So Say the Sons. That was funny as hell. That was so funny. I was like, what? He's like, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, pardon?
Oh.
Okay. So Say the Sons this week says, be kind for no reason. So Say the Sons. I don't think, and again, it goes back to the work for the cause and not for the applause. But I feel like, and this is no shot to anybody doing any Good Samaritan stuff on camera, but let's just try and do it without the purpose of making money, without making clout.
Yeah.
Again, it's just, we're in times where we're going to need each other a lot more than we think. And they're coming very, very faster, just like the technology speak we're talking and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't need people and stuff, whatever, till you'd be like, shit, how the hell you going to survive this without a few good people? So Say the Sons this week. Be kind for no reason. So Say the Sons. That was funny. You are a funny individual. Once again, thank you for listening to the Podical Sons.
It's the truth.
Facts. It's the gospel.
It's gospel.
It's the gospel. Like, comment, subscribe, all the above, all streaming platforms possible. Remember, thank you for listening to the Podical Sons. Remember, the difference between genius and stupidity, it says genius has its limits. That guy don't.
Peace and love.
Peace.
The Podical Sons with Not Your Average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.